Police in KwaZulu-Natal are believed to have been involved in a shootout with suspects who are suspected of killing 10 family members in Mbali and KZN in the early hours of this morning. It's believed a group of men stormed their home. It's unclear at this stage what circumstances led to the murder of the 7 women and 3 men. Let's go to our senior reporter Dasen Thathiah, who's following developments, and he joins us now live for more details. Dasen, we know that the police minister is there and is about to brief you, but if he hasn't yet, just tell us about this shootout between police and suspects. Did this happen after the initial shooting of the 10 family members?
It did, Maseko, and we will be about to give you and the viewers an update because the minister's timing is perfect. He's just arrived here. Let me throw my mic in. Let's see if we can get some answers to that.
You look at the gentleman in the blue, Minister. Yeah, what you've seen and what you know so far.
If we could start, Minister, with that second crime scene that you've attended. Thank you so much.
Start with this first one. Well, it has been confirmed that 10 people here are dead. The youngest would be 13, the oldest would be 63, who happened to be the mother of the house. But it does look like it's a family. Most people that are there are of the same surname. Those that are not of the same surname, they had some form of relationship. So it's a family. Why those people who could come here and wipe everybody off is something that we'll have to find. But as police were attending to this, they received information that there are people who were doing some cleansing down about 1.5 kilometers from here. Well, we have gone and see that scene. In that scene, there were 4 people who were standing outside, and as they saw the police, they exchanged fire with the police. Police shot back, killed 1, injured 1 who is arrested, and 1 is arrested and injured. 1 has run away. Fortunately, they know who ran away. So we have seen 1 of those guys, and they gave us the story that indeed they were doing some cleansing, and they gave us the name of Nyanga, the wish doctor, whom they say comes from Swaziland, and all that. But a person that has died, it looks like he is the guy. His name is Soros. I don't know the real name, but his name Soros is linked to too many crime scenes, special murder around here. We believe that formally and officially police will be linking, but he's known to have been really notorious around here, Maritzburg, even in Durban, Nanda, and all that. So that's the person who's lying down dead when the police responded to the information they received here. So it's a crime scene, terrible. Too many people were lost here. But as we say, that we thank police that they managed to respond quick on the matter. They've arrested those 2 people, 1 injured, 1 dead, 1 run away, and 3 firearms. They found 3 firearms to those people that have exchanged the fire with the police. They are working and linking the crime scene to this crime scene. So that's a situation that has come up.
All right, Minister, let's just take some questions. I see that there is a question right top of your...
Sure.
Go ahead.
Minister, when we've previously reported on this area, we used to report on gangs that operated here, which was largely behind the high crime rate that we saw in this Plesisla area. The person that you're talking about, the person that has been shot dead, is this, do we know anything more? Is this a gang leader? Was this, you said other crimes, was there any specific crimes, robberies or murders? Or I just want to understand the nature of what they were getting up to around here.
Well, this place has not been giving us peace for a long time. And you remember that there were people that were linked to the crime here that were shot and killed sometime in a place called Scottville here. Those would have been part of this. The problem with these gangsters, as their boss die, the new one mushroom and become more vicious than the previous one. Yes, the guy has been linked, as you asked, to some murders at one stage, one scene here around, I think that is an Alexandra case that is linked to 3 people that were shot. Around here, Nanda person was shot and all that. Fortunately, the person, or unfortunately, that we spoke to, seems to be knowing a lot. He will help us because he's an Uber guy who has been driving them around when they commit all these cases. So that's a young boy of 24, whom himself we hope will take us through. But he has been linked, and the police have been after him for some time. This guy called Soros.
All right, Minister, News 24.
Minister Nkoskona Duma from News 24. I just would like to understand from you, do you know what the cleansing ceremony was about? Have you been told any details as to what could have caused this particular attack, and why specifically that family? What are their interests, so to speak?
Well, I'm not going to put any cart before the horse. The investigators will tell us on that. But yes, there are a lot of immunity where they were cleansing. But fortunately, they've given us even the name of eNCA. They say eNCA comes from Swaziland, and that's eNCA that they use all the time. So that linked them to other activities, because it did agree that point that usually they go to eNCA before and after the activities. But the motive and why here and all that, there are things that you would know. But I will allow the investigation on that one to give us the facts.
Minister,
Minister, from Pietermaritzburg from the SAPC. Minister, we know that Pietermaritzburg Police Station has been on the top 5 for such a long time when it comes to crime stats. During this time, also when you speak to residents, they're saying that they're still fearful of these kinds of crime in the area, because as the first scene was active, there was also the second scene. They believe that police are not doing enough in terms of removing firearms from these criminals. What is your take on that?
Well, we talk about the police that have acted to date. We talk about the police that have reacted. For the fact that 2 people are in the hands of police, 1 is shot dead and all. Yes, I agree. It could have been alien and all that. But you seem like we were in the meeting yesterday with the National Commission and the top management when we were saying most of the communities, and Pietermaritzburg is one of them, that have completely outgrown the police stations. The provincial commissioner, where is he, stood up there and took the deputy national commissioner to say all that place on the other side, until the other side, is one police station. And maybe it would be premature to get again to tell you the results of the meeting, but it's one thing that we have taken on board to say this Pietermaritzburg cannot be allowed alone to deal with this work, and we are really working on that, to work on the expansion of the police here. But it's a place that we have been put our eyes on. We were here a year or 2 where we put the extra resources of special personnel, which means we need to revisit those activities and those actions, and we see how far do we take them. But we're also making the call on the community to help and work with us, because as we were walking that side, everybody were ululating and thanking and saying thanks for that guy who was shot there, which means they know is a person well known to the community and all that. But we do thank some members of the community that work with the police, because if they were not, we would not have got that information after this one. So we thank the members of the community, and we continue to work with them. But indeed, extra work needs to be done here.
all right, colleagues, let's just see if there is some new hands before we take the last round. You've got a new hand, and let me just see indication of any more hands. So it's going to be, go ahead,
Minister, I would like to know what evidence led you to these alleged suspects, because normally you would think that suspects, after conducting such crime, they would run away from the area. If you could please share what led you maybe to catching these.
Your name again?
I am the 21 case.
Perfect.
Well, the information was received by the police when we were still here. But whatever happened, for the fact that there was an exchange of fire, because it was morning, it was also it was almost the time when the sun was rising, so they could see. As they came on that house, I think it's a Mbata house. As they came on that Mbata house there, these guys were standing outside, and for the fact that they exchanged fire, which means they knew what they were doing, even if we're them or not, for them to exchange fire with the police, that's enough. And police reacted on that, and fortunately police came tops. They get in there, they found that there was there is a lot of muti and all that kind of thing. But the person that we spoke to confirms that that was an activity taking place there.
All right, let's buy from the eNCA.
Minister, I think beyond Plesisla, it's common knowledge now that many people have colloquially said that KZN is a crime scene because of the number of shootings. In fact, if you were to visit every one of them, I think I'll have to give you a room at my house because you'll be here every day. It's really a situation where communities are not feeling safe because of what's going on. Yesterday, there was a school pupil who was shot dead on the North Coast while she was walking home. I'm sure you're aware of that. There's been the taxi killings that took place yesterday. So you spoke here about an issue of resources. If you look beyond that and you look at the province, because you can't just say it's one particular area, it seems to be happening in a few areas. What have you already picked up that you need to do to give citizens here reassurance of living in a place that's safe?
I fully agree with you. It looks like the problem is beyond than where we are today at Imbala. As you say, that there were two taxi shootings yesterday, Verelem and Pinetown. And there is shooting that took place in Wamashu. There is shooting of that young person. But the KZN, for some reason, has grown this notorious industry of murders. When I say so, they say maybe I'm too harsh to KZN. Last week we were at Fort Hare, where we know there was a shooting of the bodyguard of the vice chancellor there. Out of those 3 people there from university, 2 they come from KZN. The trigger puller comes from KZN. A person who stole the car from Brea in Durban and drove the car to kill that person there comes from KZN. So there should be an extra concentration of this industry. As you know, the lady, the other, the health one in Tembisa, 6 people arrested come from KZN. So it's an industry that we really need to sit down with the national committee. It's a national issue rather than the provincial issue in terms of resources, in terms of both personal, money and otherwise. That will have to work. But also with the communities of KZN, with the industry of taxi industry in KZN, and other people will have to do an extra work when it comes to KZN and this industry of killing.
Minister, we did say last one, but there is a pressing question from my radio colleague.
Minister, I know that you did tell us that they are still, police are still working to link the 2 scenes. At this stage, what information do you have on hand that there may be a link between these 2 scenes? And I know that my colleague Nkosikona asked you about a reasoning. If you do have any information, what is that information about the reasoning behind this, if you do have any?
Sorry, Minister, is that another one from you?
Yes, it's just a clarity-seeking question, Minister. So one person is deceased. Do you consider that person a suspect in relation to these particular matters? We understand that there were 2 suspects that conducted the shooting. So does this mean now police are on the lookout of one more suspect, or you believe that there are possibly more people involved in this?
Okay.
Well, the person that is shot and killed is a highly wanted person anyway. He's not just a person. Police, they've been after him for some time. So that's a person called Soros. The link is information that the police received, that those people who shot here are there doing the cleansing activity. That's a link. As police approached that particular area, they encountered the fire, that was exchange of fire. And indeed, those people were found to be doing cleansing there. It has been confirmed by one of them who said their eNCA, which doctor or whatever you call, that comes from Swaziland, is just across. The police are going to be looking after that eNCA to find him. So, scientifically, forensically, ballistically, they will be linking that. But the information that was given in this crime scene immediately led to what they told the police that is happening, and they found exactly that.
Super. Minister, thank you so much. Colleagues,
Can you please have a
This
summary
is
of IsiZulu?
no problem, Minister. Just one question, I guess, just to summarize everything else, Minister.
Maybe from the beginning, the briefing.
Sure, no problem.
Sise embali la kwenzeke khona inhlekelele ukuthi abantu abawu10 bashonile. But okwenza kube buhlungu kakhulu ukuthi abantu labantu abawu10 abashonile abawu7 abantu besifazane. Kwenza kube buhlungu kakhulu. Omncane kunabo bonke uno13, omdala uno63. Bonakala kumndeni ihlobo zonke ngoba isibongo esisodwa bese kuthi abanebongo ehlukile cishe kuba bebevakashile. Kuthi ke ngenhlanhla amaphoyisa athe sala afikelwa umbiko, athola umbiko ukuthi labantu abenze lendaba basendlini ethile la behleli khona ukuwashwa ngemithi yenyanga. Amaphoyisa aphuthuma khona bese kukhanya eminyango.
Mr. I've just moved away from the briefing. The minister just giving a summary of the events in isiZulu for the benefit of our colleagues. But you'd have heard there that a confirmation now that those suspects that were traced by police were in fact linked to the shooting, the initial shooting that took place here, which left 10 family members dead.
All right, Dasen, then we're hearing that one suspect has been killed and the suspect that has been wounded is in police custody, and he's the one giving information to officers.
That's correct. And what was interesting here was the link of the Uber driver. The minister saying that, in fact, one of those people was believed to have been transporting the suspects around to commit their crimes while traveling in an Uber, and it almost seems like it's the perfect cover when they're moving through the area. Once again, also an appeal then for community members to come forward and provide information, and especially in this case, if you look at how quickly the second shooting took place after the first. Surely that must have been on the information that was received here, or the information that was gathered. Just a correction from our earlier, or rather an update from the earlier information that we shared. Maseko, I did say that everything is quite fluid here. Yeah. So a short while after that, we did get a confirmation from police saying that beyond the 10 people that had passed away, there were also others in the house. One of those being an 8-year-old that was wounded during the shooting, and the other was a 22-year-old who wasn't harmed. So those two people, fortunately, have managed to survive, but sadly the rest of the family will be laid to rest.
Dasen Thathiah, at that horrific story, also finding out from that briefing by the police minister that in fact the youngest victim is just 13 years old and the oldest is the 63-year-old who seems like the mother at that home, and the suspect that was killed, according to the police minister, is or was a very highly wanted criminal in the province of KZN, apparently linked to many murders across that particular province.